You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Back at it again with another bang of my friends. Y'all kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. Y'all know the vibes right now. Welcome in, guys. I know we still have a chunk of regular season left. We still have the highly anticipated conference championships left. But if one thing that we have learned this college basketball season for the women's side is anything is possible. Literally. It is wide open right now, folks. It is absolutely wide open. Anything, I meant that in the header. I meant that on the thumbnail. Anything is liable to happen right now in women's college hoops. It is absolute madness. Anybody can lose. Anybody can get got. You see the top 7 teams right now. Any of these teams, man, from Texas to UCLA to Yukon to South Carolina to USC to LSU. Like, these teams all have a chance to win the national title this season, man. Like, this is the most wide open it has been in women's college hoops in quite some time. And we're gearing up for maybe the craziest, most unpredictable NCAA tournament we have seen in quite some time on the women's side. And it's just exciting to see, man. I'm looking at that top 7, bro. Texas, UCLA, Notre Dame, USC, Yukon, South Carolina, LSU, all our championship level teams. On the outside, we're not gonna call them pretenders, the outliers. North Carolina, NC State, TCU, Tennessee, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Kansas State, teams like this that could really wreak some havoc and bust some brackets this season. Of course, you start at the top with the tier 1. Texas, the current number 1 team in the nation, and deservingly so. They beat South Carolina. They beat LSU. They've won some big games throughout conference. They've won some big games in the non-conference. Madison Booker is one of the best players in the country. Has one of the best mid-range games that we've seen in quite some time. You got Taylor Jones, Oldacre, Jordan Lee's playing better. And the crazy thing, Texas, imagine if they had Layla Filia, man. Like, bro, Texas down one of their star players that led the Michigan Wolverines in scoring last year with over 17 a game. Still hooping. Now, the weakness there with Texas, they probably are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country. And when you're one-dimensional, you can get in trouble. But I'm looking at Texas. Are they the best team in the country? I don't know. But they are ranked number 1 right now. UCLA, man. Lauren Betts has returned from injury. Michigan State gave them a run. Iowa pushed them to the absolute limit. We thought they were unbeatable. I ain't going to say we thought they were unbeatable. People thought that, this team would potentially run the gauntlet after what they did to South Carolina. And USC and Juju Watkins absolutely put that thing on them 2 years straight. But UCLA, one of the most versatile teams in the country, honestly, man. When you talk about length, size at every position, good guards, can shoot the basketball. Lauren Betts is one of the most dominant players in the entire country on both sides of the basketball. UCLA has been to several Elite Eights in their program's history. Can Coach Close finally get this team over the hump in the Final Four? Like, the storylines write themselves. UCLA, so historically highly regarded on the men's side. The women's side have never won a national championship, man. Is this the year that UCLA, Lauren Betts, they went in the portal, got Janiah Barker, Tamia Gardner? Like, this is the most talented team that Coach Close has had at UCLA, period. It's got to be championship or bust for this group. It's got to be championship or bust. And you look at that, those are the top 2 teams right now. You got Notre Dame, who was number 1 for like, what, a week? What was Notre Dame? Y'all number 1 for like a week? Got pressed by Duke and then ended up losing in OT? Losing in OT to NC State? I'm just saying, man. I felt like Notre Dame if there was a favorite to win the title last week, a couple of weeks ago, I would have had Notre Dame right there. You got probably the best three-headed monster in the country, aside from maybe LSU and Hannah Hidalgo, Player of the Year right now. Sonia Citron, best 3-and-D player in the country, in my opinion. And then you got Olivia Miles, the captain, the leader, the floor general. RC, my guy, welcome in, welcome in. We are just talking about this unpredictable NCAA tournament, man. This is going to be the craziest, wildest March Madness that we have seen in women's college hoops in quite some time. I'm just telling you right now. Shakim, welcome in, welcome in. But Notre Dame, three-headed monster. Latu King out of the portal, has been incredible for them. They got size. They're still trying to figure out how they can get Maddie Westbell playing back to the level that she was playing in last year. But she's a stretch four that can really shoot the basketball. She's mobile. They're going to need to get her at her best. A weakness, though, for Notre Dame has been the bench at times. I'm just saying. But this three-guard combo, they have more depth than they've gotten more production from the supporting cast than LSU has. I will say that. But Notre Dame definitely still in the hunt, but we did see them get upset. And it goes back to my point that anybody can get got any given night. Even the Fighting Irish, man, and they're fighting for an ACC regular season title with North Carolina, with Duke as well. It's all still up for grabs. You move down to number 4 at USC, man. Juju Watkins, probably arguably the most talented player in women's college hoops, hands down right now. You got her leading the way. Kiki Riafen, who had a breakout junior season, has come to be the number 2 player for that team, who forced, literally decided to come to USC to take pressure off of Juju Watkins. You got Kennedy Smith and that number 1 recruiting class that came in, Kaylee Heckle. You got also Raya Marshall, one of the best defensive bigs in the country, who's starting to find her offensive stride as well, man, when you really break things down. So I think that's exciting for USC. Talia von Oelhoffen is playing better basketball than she has in the past as well. So, that's another team where USC is kind of, since the loss to Iowa, man, they've really kind of pulled it together and playing team basketball. Early in the season, it was a lot of just, yo, Juju, play pick and roll, go get us a bucket. Everybody else either get out the way. And it was a whole lot of ball watching and not a lot of offense being run. They're coming together as a team. A squad that had so many expectations, man, high expectations. They were being deemed a super team before the season even started. They had some bumps in the road, but they are starting to come together as well, man. You got Yukon at number 5, who's been reeling. Team of the week a couple of weeks ago, shocked the nation. Shocked probably a lot of their fans after blowing South Carolina up and just completely destroying that win streak that they had at Colonial Life Arena, man. You got AZ Fudd playing the best basketball she's played in years. She's healthy. Paige Beckers has fought through, I think, having one foot in and one foot out, thinking about the WNBA draft and potentially, heavily favored to be the number 1 pick. That's something about, trying to really maintain focus on the college season and finish it out, but also know that, you got a huge, huge opportunity and that's about to come happen to you, bro, when you go number 1 potentially in the WNBA draft. The draft's got to be on her mind. She's only human. The draft's got to be on her mind. UConn also plays in the weakest conference of any team on this list other than Creighton, who plays in the conference. They're the only other ranked team in the Big East. Teams feel like UConn wasn't getting challenged. The Tennessee game, I think, really woke them up. And then they come out and blow out South Carolina. Like I said, AZ Fudd, Paige Beckers, Sarah Strong, arguably the front runner for Freshman of the Year right now. But I definitely think Joyce Edwards is right there as well. But you got a team that's definitely still got a lot to prove, and I think they have a chip on their shoulder. I think that they're finally healthy. You lose Morgan Shelley, which sucks. 5-star freshman, McDonald's All-American, out for the season. Of course, the injury bug bit UConn once again. And she was a player that was in the rotation, involved in getting consistent minutes. So that hurts. That hurts. We saw them lose almost half the roster last year to injuries, man. And this season, for the most part, other than a couple of dings and dongs, they have been healthy. Paige Becker's AZ Fudd looking like one of the best backcourts in the country. Paige has absorbed a lot of criticism, a lot of critiques, a lot of harsh comments made about her, in my opinion, from the Yukon fan base, as well as Gino Auriemma, man. He's really challenged her in a lot of ways. But Paige Beckers has really, I think, done a good job of doing whatever the team needs, whether it's being in that natural point guard position where she played the 4 last year and was completely out of position. This season, Paige Becker's back to playing that one more, being more of a playmaker for this group, playing in the backcourt at her natural position. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Duke could use the solid swords. They need offense. They need offense. And hey, man, Duke needs some more offense for sure. The defense is there, but they could use an offensive punch. But yeah, and they're another top team as well in the ACC. But yeah, UConn definitely playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think when they beat South Carolina, we saw that they could play with anybody, and they're a legitimate title contender as well. Sarah Strong has been incredible. KK Arnold has put up some big games for them and been a really valuable point guard coming off the bench, man, being a playmaker for this group and being their best perimeter defender at times. You got the ACC. Well, before we get there, we got to go to South Carolina and LSU at 6 and 7. The two reigning defending champs of the past couple of years, man, are coming into this tournament definitely trying to prove something themselves, man. South Carolina has been the team for majority of the season that people thought, were going to be the hands down national championship favorite. They brought back basically their entire roster besides Camila Cardoso from last year's championship team. Everybody felt like South Carolina could have potentially run the gauntlet. UCLA said, nah, that was not happening. Now we've seen some shortcomings from this team, man. We've seen fans turn on Raven Johnson. We've seen her become one-dimensional and take a huge step back offensively, but she's improved in rebounding, and she's definitely been a consistent defender, and she's ran the team. But the assists are down as well, man, without Camila Cardoso out there. Like, that was a huge part of Ravens' game, being able to play the 1-2 game with Camila Cardoso. We're not seeing that this year, but she's persevered. She's been that glue player. She has continued to do what the team needs as far as everything else but scoring the basketball for the most part. She's got a couple double-digit scoring games, but she's been running the floor hard, running the fast break, getting others involved. She rebounds at an extremely great rate for her size at the position. And, she's really brought the straps out on defense as well, man. So, Raven is definitely limited. They do have point guards. I think Maddie McDaniel as well as Malaysia Full Wiley and some of these other guards have more upside than her for sure. Tessa Johnson as well. They're more well-rounded basketball players at this stage. Well, not Maddie, but I think, Malaysia Full Wiley right now is a better basketball player. I will also say I think on top of Raven Johnson, or on top of Malaysia Full Wiley, Tessa Johnson is a better basketball player, and that could be the X factor, man. We talked about Breezy Hall, like Sanaya Fagan. These upperclassmen have been called out. Chloe Kitts, and really, it's the underclassmen, Joyce Edwards and Malaysia Full Wiley, leading the way for the Gamecocks. Man, they're playing through these two young players, and they're finding that this has to be their new identity, and they're going to win games. March Madness, that just adds another wrench. Like Don Staley and Texas are battling right now. If they both win out, the SEC regular season's coming down to a damn coin flip. Like, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Like, there is just so much going on between a lot of these teams in their respective conferences, and it's gearing up. Like the storylines are writing themselves, man. But South Carolina should have a chip on their shoulder. They've dropped 3 games, and that's unfamiliar territory. A lot of these players had never lost the SEC game, had never lost a game at home. Like, it was really shocking. It was humbling. But I think it made them hungrier, man, to come out and really prove themselves. These upperclassmen, like I mentioned, Raven Johnson has done what the team needed her to do. Is she limited offensively? Absolutely. Does that cost them sometimes? Absolutely. Has Breezy Hall had an up and down season? Her shooting numbers are down, but the defense has been impeccable. Sanaya Fagan up and down so far, almost got benched. But she has played quality basketball as well when they've really depended on her for the most part. But South Carolina, people feel like, hey, are there too many chefs in the kitchen? Too many star power, too much star power, not enough role players embracing roles. What's going on with Tessa Johnson and Tahina Pow Pow? Kind of a shooting slump going on for them right now, man. But Tessa Johnson could be the key. Her and Malaysia Fulwali were the key in the postseason last year. Y'all remember what Tessa Johnson did in the NCAA tournament, don't you? I'm just saying, definitely keep an eye out for her. You look at LSU, man, and they might be the most dangerous team in the dang country. I mean, real talk. Michaela Williams is becoming an absolute superstar in our eyes. Like right before our eyes, Michaela Williams is turning into a bona fide superstar. She might be the best mid-range scorer in the country. She might right now be the best ISO player in the country, man. She don't need a screen or nothing. Give her the basketball and get the hell out of the way. Like Michaela Williams is absolutely getting to her spot. That Kentucky win showed me a lot. Of course, you got Flage and Anissa Morrow. Flage playing like the female D Wade, man. Like having Simone Augustus join this roster, I think was super beneficial for LSU's guards. They're on a different level. Anissa Morrow has been undersized the entire country and still leads in double doubles and is killing on the glass, man. LSU definitely, I think, has to depend more on some other players to do the dirty work. If you're going to have the big three scoring all the points, Samaya Smith's got to block shots and rebounds. Miracle Shepherd, I think we should see her get some more minutes. Jada Richard, Laster Poa, minutes have been severely cut. Nobody seems to know why. She really hasn't really gotten a whole lot of playing time. Cheyenne Day Wilson really stepped up for them in their last contest, shutting down Georgia Moore in that second half. But LSU is super dangerous. They're, 2 years removed from a championship. You got Kim Mulkey out there with this group absolutely fired up. I'm still waiting to see if they can get consistency out of Jersey Wolfenbarger, who played huge when Anissa Morrow was out with the injury. I mean, that is the storyline for LSU right there, man. But I think they could be one of the most dangerous teams in the country. You get on MK12 Island, man, and you're going to have a serious problem. It's going to be a long night for you. And then that's like looking at those 7 teams, those are who I feel like are the true championship contenders, right? Like those are the true championship contenders right now. Those are the teams where I feel like any team that I just mentioned in that top 7 has the talent to win the championship. It'll come down to the draw. It'll come down to who executes and who's playing great basketball in March. But talent-wise, those top 7 have enough to win it, all of them. And that's how I'm feeling. Y'all holler at me in the comments. Let me know.